Sam sat by the fireplace, drinking his cup of coffee. Outside, it looks like the snowstorm is only going to get worse. But that was fine with him. He was more than content with just enjoying the comforts of his cabin. But just as Sam is about to doze off in his cozy chair, he sees something outside that catches his attention. He makes his way to the window to get a better look. Off in the distance, through the falling snow and among the wintry landscape, Sam sees a silhouette of some kind. He's confused at what exactly he's staring at. The silhouette looks like an animal of some sort, but something about it also looks kind of human. Suddenly, the silhouette disappears behind some trees. Sam doesn't know what to make of it. Must be a deer, he thought to himself. Sam continues to stare outside in hopes of getting another glimpse of the visitor. However, he doesn't see another sign of it. Having had enough of giving so much attention to what he thinks was most likely a deer, Sam decides to return to his cozy chair. The snowstorm is really messing with my tired eyes, he tells himself. But just at that moment, the sound of something quickly running on the snow outside interrupts the silence. Sam sits up from his chair as he nervously listens. He realizes that the sound of footsteps are coming closer and making their way towards the exterior of the cabin. To his horror, whatever it is, suddenly scales the cabin and makes its way onto the roof. Sam's eyes grow large with fear as the unknown visitor starts to make its way across the roof. What the hell is that? He thinks to himself. What animal could do that? Even though he tries to convince himself it's an animal, it's hard for Sam to ignore the fact that the footsteps on his roof sound like they're being made by something walking on two legs. Sam gathers the courage to grab his shotgun. He storms out through the front door, ready to confront whatever is on his roof. With his shotgun aimed and ready, he carefully surveys the roof. Nothing. Sam is just about to turn the corner when suddenly, something leaps off the roof, grazing him as it lands on the ground behind. Sam falls into the snow, but quickly recovers. He hastily gets to his feet and turns around with his shotgun aimed. But whatever it was has already run off towards the trees. With his adrenaline pumping, Sam decides to give chase. He tries his best to pursue the creature, but the snow on the ground is making each step difficult. The snowfall is also obscuring his ability to get a good look at the creature as it runs off in the distance. It isn't too long before Sam loses sight of it. Even though he wasn't able to get a good look, Sam is unsettled by the small glimpses he did get of the creature. Despite the fact that it ran as fast as an animal, he couldn't help but notice how human it looked. With the weather conditions continuing to deteriorate, Sam knew he couldn't just continue to stand in the middle of the woods. He decided to return to his cabin, hoping that he had scared off whatever the creature was. Sam safely treks back to his cabin without incident, but as soon as he approaches the front door, a look of horror washes over his face. There, in the snow, along with his shoe prints, he sees a trail of hoof prints leading right towards the front door. Sam readies his shotgun as he slowly approaches the cabin. As he makes his way inside, he is greeted by a collection of melting snow that had blown in through the wide open door. There is, however, no signs of an intruder. After shutting the door behind him, Sam readies his shotgun as he decides to check every inch of the small cabin. However, despite an intensive inspection of the cabin, he doesn't find a trace of anything. No animal or human. Nothing. As confused as he is, Sam is also relieved. After being sure that the place is free of any intruder, Sam is able to calm down. He quickly then makes sure that every window and door in the cabin is locked. Shortly after, he returns to his chair. Whatever it was must have just finally ran off, Sam thinks, trying to convince himself. But just in case it hasn't, Sam has made sure that his trusty shotgun is nearby. With his nerves starting to settle, Sam's eyes begin to grow more and more tired. Eventually, he falls asleep right in his comfy chair. It's a peaceful scene inside the cabin as the snow outside continues to fall. And just at that moment, the demon slowly emerges from within the fire.